Fitness influencers love to tell you that you can transform your body, transform your physique in just 90 days. But the truth is, if you're 40 or older, they're straight up not giving you the truth. The good news, in this video, I'm gonna give you the honest timeline of how long it takes to get in shape, to transform your physique, to lose fat and build muscle definition. Because I actually had to get there and go through this myself. Watch this whole video, because I'm gonna show you the exact phases where progress stalls and how to fix each one. Let's get into it. All right, let's start with the first 30 days. And the truth is that the focus for this 30 days is mastering or starting to master your environment. This is where your transformation, your physique change, where it's won or lost. Focus on mastering your environment over these first 30 days so that by the end of these first 30 days, you're set up to knock your goal out of the park. Now on the other side, don't do this, and it's an incredibly hard uphill battle to make progress towards your goal, and especially if you're trying to go and do this yourself without the added accountability of working with a coach or something like that. So what do I mean by mastering your environment? I mean showing up and doing your workouts at least most days that you plan to. And where the environment comes into this is when someone works out at a gym, they have to drive to the gym, and that in itself sort of triggers them to get into the mindset of working out, of putting aside distractions or other things they're thinking about, and then going and doing their workout. If you work out at home, you don't have that natural transition action. You just plan to work out, and all the distractions that you have at home are still there. So mastering your environment in the first 30 days is strengthening the muscle of going from the part of your day where you don't work out, whether that's early in the morning or later in the day, and then starting the workout and not letting some distraction, whatever distraction you commonly make time for, of using that as an excuse to not start the workout. Other ways of mastering your environment relate to nutrition, starting to food track if you're gonna do that, starting to use an app, starting to weigh your food on a scale so that your food tracking is as accurate as possible, and then starting to use an app and putting everything that you eat, or some initial step like only tracking protein, doing that consistently to get used to it so that you can do it in less and less time so it can become easier to keep up with, right? And then other nutritional actions like adjusting your portion sizes to fit the calories you want to eat or to see the results you want to eat, increasing protein intake. There's a bunch of options on the table, and just like with the workouts, it's starting to do those things and think about those things when before you weren't making the time to do them. Now I know this talk about mastering your environment, it doesn't sound like we're talking about how to see more fat loss, how to see more muscle definition. We're getting there. But the reason this is first and why we're talking about it in this video is if you skip this step and your timeline is going to be much longer and more difficult on the way to seeing the fat loss and the muscle definition you want. This is the foundation. All right, let's move on. Okay, now that we talked about mastering your environment in the first 30 days, let's move on to looking at the first 30 to 90 days. And for most busy guys, what this is going to mean is focusing on fat loss first, starting with a 12-week fat loss phase. So here's what you can expect and where you get lied to regarding this first fat loss phase and this first 90 days. Before we get into that, let's first talk about one of the main turning points for busy guys when it comes to hitting a fat loss goal. And that is mastering the weekend or not mastering it. On the one hand, you have your fitness goal, what you want to achieve. And on the other hand, you have barbecues, social events, kids' birthdays, or beers and wings with the guys. And the problem is not learning to manage both of those together leads to progress getting undone when you have those events on the weekends. So this is one of the keys, this is one of the turning points. And if you want to stop having the weekends be a time when you undo all the progress that you make from Monday to Friday, then download my 3-page Busy Guys Weekend Fat Loss Game Plan. Get it at the link in the description. By the end of the first 90 days, you can see a substantial amount of fat loss. You can see some muscle definition improvements. But here's the problem. Without a substantial amount of muscle underneath, without months and years already of strength training experience, the truth that never gets mentioned is that you'll drop body fat and you'll even see some muscle definition improvements. But at the end of the day, what's likely is you're going to look smaller than you want to. It will make you think two things at the same time. You're going to think, I did good, look what I accomplished. But it's also going to leave you with the thought, this wasn't the full change that I was expecting. What did I miss? That's what no one tells you. Rarely is only 90 90 days what's needed for a full transformation. It simply takes more time than 90 days. So now, if you have these thoughts, if this is your experience at the end of 90 days, where do you go from here? What do you focus on next? Let's get into the 90-day to 1 year mark. It sounds like a big chunk of time, but what's really surprising is that fitness influencers don't talk about this time period more. But they're doing it because they're busy selling you on their 90-day program. What they don't tell you is this period between 90 days and a year, this is where you really unlock the full transformation or get pretty damn close depending on your specific goal. And the big thing here, most guys actually start this part of their transformation. They start it with the wrong strategy to keep working towards the body they want. And they focus on the wrong things to get there. And a lot of times this comes down to the fact that there's simply a lot less information out there on what to do during this longer time period. And here's the biggest mistake. Because you're not happy with the transformation, because you know there's more you actually want to achieve, going past 3 months gets treated as an extension of the fat loss phase or of the diet. And this extension gets drawn out indefinitely. Don't fall into this trap. Instead, step 1 of this period between 90 days and 1 year is get out of the diet, get out of the fat loss phase, start moving into what's called a reverse diet. Don't let the name intimidate you. It's simply when calories are slowly increased over time, and this marks the end of the diet. What matters here is doing this instead of just going right back to how you ate before you started the fat loss phase, before you started dieting and changing your nutrition. Small incremental steps. You'll keep more body fat off instead of rapidly gaining body fat back. Because by slowly increasing calories over time during this reverse diet, your metabolism has time to adjust. Yes, your metabolism is just like muscle. It adapts over time depending on what you do. And when you're dieting as part of a fat loss phase, you're giving your body less food, and so your metabolism is going to slow down. And so this reverse diet with incrementally or slowly increasing calories lets your metabolism start getting faster, getting used to burning more food in a given day. And that's how we limit how much body fat you add after a fat loss phase or diet is over. And with this increase in calories, it's also going to set the stage for seeing more muscle definition, which leads us to step 2 of this period, which is after a reverse diet, focusing on getting stronger or building muscle. And this usually lasts longer than a fat loss phase simply because building muscle takes more time than dropping body fat. So usually the timeline here is at least 16 weeks. From a nutrition standpoint, this phase starts when during the reverse diet, you hit the point where your weight is staying stable, even with increases in calories, or it starts to slightly increase. That's when this phase begins, and then you do this for about 16 weeks, but that's going to depend on how your body fat levels stay in check as you get towards the later stages of this phase. And the reason is, which leads us to stage 3 of this time period between 90 days and a year, is everyone hits this point where it seems like body fat is starting to go up again. That's going to be the signal to end the strength focus, the muscle building or muscle definition focus, and go back into another fat loss phase. This is a cycle that actually gets a drastically improved physique with less body fat like you want, and also with more muscle definition like you want. Because every time you go through a fat loss phase, it's going to reveal the improved muscle definition or the bigger muscles that you want while you see less body fat. And depending on your specific goals, you might have to go through this cycle a couple times. This is what nobody mentions. They make it sound like a 90-day transformation. That's all you need, and you'll have your physique transformed the way you want for good. And the truth is, it takes this cycle of focusing on fat loss for a while, focusing on strength gain or muscle definition or building muscle, and then maybe having to repeat that whole cycle. Okay, but when you get to a year, at that point, you're gonna look at your progress photos and you're gonna see real change, a significant difference from where you started. So after a year, what's there to keep working on? So after a year, you kind of have 2 options. One, you want to keep going after the physique change and doing more fat loss and more strength or building muscle focused phases, or Do you have some other aspect of your fitness goals that you want to focus on? For me, it was combining the physique change that I still wanted with training more athletically, preparing my body more for softball, which I play in the summers. And the tough part is that at this point, you're still going to see the changes in your body weight, but your progress pictures week to week and month to month are not going to look as different. So the danger here at this point is going to be wondering why you should keep trying. What is there left to achieve? If the changes aren't that great, is it even worth putting in the effort? And of course, at the end of the day, on some level, it is worth it. Because if you decide to stop entirely, then 100% some reversal of results over time. Now, if you choose to keep going beyond this 1 year mark, the big thing here, how do you survive this longer term process without burning out, without losing your mind, and without destroying your family life? And the answer is simply to stop looking at fitness as like this 365-day prison sentence. Instead, start treating your year like seasons. When life gets crazy in the third or fourth quarter of the year and work is extra busy, or you have a vacation or summer holiday planned, this all or nothing mindset can easily lead you to just drop everything because you can't maintain that 100% effort with these other things going on. So with this seasons approach, the lesson is to not view less than perfect execution as a total failure. So summers might be a maintenance season where you enjoy the barbecues, you hold on to the muscle definition you've already gained over the past year or more, and you work out 2 or 3 days a week at home just to feel good. And then fall might be your 12-week focus season where you lean out, push for that fat loss again, and then after build some more muscle, where you lock in your home workouts and strip away some of the body fat. Or this might be how you approach the springtime to get ready for the summer. By treating fitness like seasons long term, you remove the guilt, you remove the burnout, and you ensure that 2 years from now, you still look and feel like an athlete. Look, the reality is that at 40, you don't want to waste 5 years guessing your macros or making all the common workout mistakes in your garage or in your basement. Your time is too valuable. If you want to skip the trial and error and get a customized roadmap built for your body, your schedule, and the equipment you have at home, let's talk, because this is exactly what I help busy guys with in my coaching program. It all starts with a free 20-minute strategy and roadmap call where we discuss your starting point, your biggest bottleneck as it relates to fitness and nutrition right now, and map out the next 12 months. If my coaching is the right fit to help you execute it, great. If not, that's great too. You keep the roadmap. Click the link in the description to grab a slot before they fill up, and let's build your foundation.